Hi there Geminis, welcome back to my channel The Angel Witch Tarot. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. So this reading is for the 4th of May to the 10th of May 2026. Let's start off with the intuitive oracle cards and then we'll move on to the rest of the cards, and then in the end we'll be moving on to the Ashadice for the overall energy of the week. So let's move on to the intuitive oracle cards first and see what the spirits want you to know regarding your intuition. Follow the light. Intuition will lead you towards the light. Trust its direction. And then we have clarity in chaos, because in chaos your intuition brings clarity. Trust it. Let's move on to the tarot and see how your week progresses. So we've got the Emperor upright, which talks about respect, leadership, stability, structure, rules and power, authority, father figures, protection, control, discipline, focus and practicality. And then we've got the Tower upright, which is talking about sudden changes coming into your life, upheaval, chaos, revelation, disaster, awakening, finding a sudden release and finding sudden insights coming your way. And then we've got the Nine of Wands reversed, the Nine of Wands reversed, which talks about your inner resources, your struggle, how overwhelmed you're on edge, you're paranoid, you're defensive, you're exhausted, you're fatigued and you lack motivation. So let's see what we can do for that. We've got the Death card upright, which says that it's going to be the end of all this negativity. It's going to be the beginning of a new phase, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, and the end of a cycle. And then we've got Knight of Wands in reverse. So there's a lot of anger and scattered energy, but make sure you do not scatter that energy into your personal or professional life, because it could disrupt or delay any passion projects that are coming your way and causing frustrations in the end. And then we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which talks about lost opportunities, missed chances, bad investment, lack of planning and foresight. Then we have the Fool upright. So the Fool upright is all about new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, spontaneousness, optimism, trust in life, blind faith, adventure, opportunity and pleasure. And then we have the Temperance in reverse, which talks about there being some sort of imbalance or an excess of something. You're going to extremes, overindulging, probably alcoholism or some sort of addiction. Also it talks about self-healing and realignment. Then we've got the Page of Cups, which talks about creative opportunities coming your way, sensing intuitive messages, finding those meanings behind those intuitive messages, curiosity, possibility, happy surprises, being a dreamer, being sensitive and finding new love. Alright, so let's move on to the next set. Friendship. This connection is based on friendship. It may never develop into romance. Secrets. Something is hidden from you. Someone isn't being truthful. Maybe try figuring out what the secret is, or wait for them to reveal the secret on their own. Okay? For this next set, I'd like you to think of somebody. It could be anybody, even yourself. Just think of someone and let's figure out what's in the shadows of this person's heart. Okay? Alright, so we've got hoity-toity, which says champagne taste, beer budget arrogant, and pretentious. This person is just very pretentious and arrogant. They have high expectations, high tastes. And then we've got complicated. Lots of twists and turns, naughty situations, and precarious. Alright, so the next set, let's see what the spirit animals have for you guys this week. The noble peacock, all about prestige, self-respect, and awareness. It says, keep it up, your confidence and grace, he would know. The kind koala, all about mindfulness, relaxation, and self-care. It says, remove your tension and let yourself be free. Last set. I've got this. I am comfortable with the unknown. Say these affirmations as many times as you can throughout the week so that this affirmation turns into a manifestation into real life. So let's move on to the Asher dice for the overall energy of the week. So we've got the South Node in Taurus in the 4th house. So the South Node is all about the life path that you've followed up until this point in time, the past life baggages that you've carried into this life, the karmic lessons, the familiarity, the self-introspections, the gifts or qualities that you have mastered already, that you've brought into this life, which you're already good at in this life. And then it also talks about the fears that you need to overcome. And then Taurus is all about persistence, steadiness, trustworthiness, patience, endurance, tenacity, drive, reliability, security, stability, slowness, stubbornness, materiality, resistance to change, indulgent, being possessive, being interested in the arts, the beauty, the luxury, being fashionable and chic, and holding grudges very well. Okay, and then we've got the 4th house, which is all about parents or guardians, the roots, the families, the foundations, the domestic matters, the real estate, the inheritance, the emotions, the mothers, the children, the women, and the femininity, the feminine energy in this life, in your life. Alright, so this is the end of the reading for my dear Geminis. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.